the Clippers.
Yeah, it was great.
Second half, not so much.
Well, they're the Clippers. They're the third best team in the Western Conference, and they're the best shooting team in the NBA right now, and they've got Kawhi Leonard. And off the bench, the greatest bench scorer in the history of the game.
Well, and the Timberwolves have just shot themselves in the foot with the turnovers here in this fourth quarter.
Look at the efficiency for Lou Williams, man. He just has been so great in this game. Perfect from the free throw line as well. 5 for 5. He's got 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's been doing everything.
Rubio for a 3. Clippers have converted on all 7 second-half turnovers by the Timberwolves.
Yeah, a lot of live ball turnovers that it's not like it's bouncing out of bounds or you're traveling or something like that. You're throwing it to them.
Ryan Saunders is going to get Jaden McDaniels back on. And time really starting to work against the Timberwolves here as we're under 2 minutes to go. Edwards has it poked away, but last touched by L.A.
Boy, how active are the Clippers' hands, Dave? They're so long, and they're so aggressive, and they just have all these guys that can defend and that are tough. And this is going to bode well for them come playoff time.
Terrence Mann knocks Ricky Rubio down, and Jim, the ball hadn't been inbounded yet.
Yeah, it's going to be free throws.
It's going to be like a technical free throw because it was away from the ball.
Wasn't inbounded yet. You foul, and anybody can shoot that too. So you think Rubio is the one that gets fouled, so Rubio has to shoot. No, anybody can shoot that technical foul.
It's not.
Well, it's not a technical.
Yeah, but it's like a technical.
It's like a technical, but in the fact that anybody can shoot it.
Correct. Beasley out of the corner, no. Rubio comes up with the ball. Towns for a 3. That won't drop, but put back up and in by McDaniels. Can the Wolves get a stop? And a foul here. Timberwolves had a foul to give. That is the first foul in the final 2 minutes. And the last foul to give of the game for either team.
Yes, sir. Quite likes to go right. Good crossover that time, using the screen.
That's his 5th 3 tonight.
He's going to drive going right, but he's going to pull up and shoot it going left.
Rubio. McDaniels open. Towns, second chance bucket. Under a minute to go. Clippers in no hurry.
Kawhi is asking Reggie Jackson to come over to this side of the floor so he can set the screen and get the switch.
Beasley comes up with it. Beasley's got Jackson to beat and whistle here. He's going to send Malik to the free throw line.
Again, we talked about Kawhi handling late game situations, and the game's no different. So he's trying to get the defender off. Jaden takes away his right hand, and Kawhi counters. He's fine going to his left to shoot the jump shot. You have to get downhill going right, but if you take away his right hand, you obviously are in trouble any way you go, Dave, with Kawhi Leonard. He's just too good.
Malik now up to 15 points.
This is good experience for Jaden McDaniels to be playing against Kawhi Leonard.
No doubt. And a timeout being taken here by LA. Timberwolves get it back to 9, but only 43 seconds remaining. Kawhi Leonard
cut it to 5.
5 made threes for Kawhi Leonard tonight, Jim Peterson.
The Clippers are the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. We talked about the corners, they're number 1 in the league. And they have a number of guys that shoot it well. In fact, they've got 5 guys that are in the top 30 in the league from the corners. And they're really good above the break as well. But Kawhi Leonard, as you mentioned, Dave, he's just dynamic from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, and the 36 points tonight for him is a season high. He's 1 off his career high for made threes in a game with the 6. I mean, with the 5, excuse me, he's 2 off. His career high 7. He has a new season high in threes, though, with the 5 makes tonight. And how about 5 threes on 6 attempts?
He was trying to go at Minnesota in the post-up opportunities early on in the mismatches, and that wasn't working out. So he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start bombing threes here, and it was pretty good from there. 7 free throw attempts for him. For 36, 8, and 5. Pretty good stat line. Clippers are very formidable.
Timberwolves nearly able to force a turnover, and now they're going to reach in and foul Morris.
Utah Jazz are...
A lot of what they're doing, though, is just the Lakers are just not aggressively switching and talking on the defensive end. They've got...
It's just so unbelievably good, Dave. And from the defensive, how disruptive he is. I don't know if you got a chance to see any of the Utah Jazz game against the Boston Celtics last night, but man, Rudy just put on a clinic, and so the Donovan Mitchell did as well. And Bojan Bogdanovic stars in his role. I mean, just Joe Ingles, Jingling Joe. They've had relative health too, and that's the thing. They've not had many injuries. Mike Conley didn't even play last night, and they beat the Celtics as Jaden McDaniels gets that one to go. It's going to be very interesting to see how this Western Conference shakes out. You got the top 3, and then I think you add Denver in there, Dave, so you got 4. And I don't know if would you put Denver up there with those top 3?
I mean, Denver's been off to such a slow start, but I still think the Nuggets have a lot of potential to be able to get things together as long as you got Jokic, but right now they're clearly behind.
If you can get Portland back healthy again, and you know, they're always going to have a chance because Damian Lillard is just so tremendously talented and such a big shot maker.
Clippers really, Jimmy, look at the free throw advantage here tonight. 20 of 23 for LA at the line. Make it 21 of 24.
Yeah, they do everything. When it comes to shooting the basketball, since the Golden State Warriors are not here to kind of compete with them from that standpoint, this Clipper team, they're 4th in field goal percentage, number 1 in three-point percentage, number 1 in free throw percentage. They're 28th in the NBA.
Does the look at that? Trez thinks he's going one way and
What a luxury that is.
Edwards gets to the basket, able to put it in. 18 seconds to go. And a timeout being taken here by the Clippers. 8-point game and only 18 seconds remaining. Clippers are going to end their 2-game losing skid. Timberwolves, they got a big lift in the first half by getting Karl Anthony Towns back on the floor. They played really well in that opening quarter. But in the end, LA is going to end up with too much. One final timeout here at Target Center.
Thunder at this junction. They've got 32 points on the board. And that will
settles in for Schroeder. OKC shoots a lot of threes. They just don't make a ton of them. Second worst shooter from beyond the arc in the NBA. There's the play by Jackson. He started the other
18.6 to go. And Jim, it was unfortunate D'Angelo Russell couldn't play tonight because you just really want to see the Timberwolves with Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah. Sure would like to see that.
Timberwolves will
Delayed action there and goes to the line for his first free throw of the game.
take on the Hornets, and then they'll take on the Raptors, but not in Toronto. They'll go to Tampa to take on the Raptors.
Right.
Clippers really just kind of need to end down the ball. You wouldn't think the Timberwolves would foul, but they do foul. So Reggie Jackson's going to go to free throw line. I mean, I guess Ryan Saunders fighting to the very end here, but 18 seconds to go. You're down 3 possessions. Terrence Mann coming back on
For Kawhi Leonard.
Beasley, the 3, drills it. And the Timberwolves foul again. 5 seconds to go, but why not, right? Beasley,
Let's see if you can execute.
19 points.
I mean, that's something Ryan wants to see if he can execute in these situations, free throw situation.
We could have another appearance at the level. Remember, we had one earlier this year.
This at the end of the game. Beasley, all of his 19 points tonight came in the second half. Beasley's going to get it off. One last shot. How about Beasley? 21 points. All come in the second half. Karl Anthony Towns with words for Marcus Morris. And Kawhi Leonard was the man tonight. 36 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 triples for Kawhi Leonard.
It's interesting. You look
And
at
in the end,
the dissecting of it. They're #1
Clippers take
still, but they are near the bottom third of the league in guarding in the restricted area and at the rim. So they have been vulnerable. If you think they've been vulnerable, they have been, and the numbers bear that out.
We've talked about that from the very beginning of the season, where they lost quite a bit of their rim protection. They have a different type of rim protection with this group.
Miller lets
Sid calls the timeout. New career high for Kyra Lewis Jr., first team All-SEC a season ago. 19 years of age, one of the youngest in the league. 6-point game. Well, Friday on Bulls Pregame Live, general manager Mark Eversley will talk about becoming the first black general manager for the Chicago Bulls. Now he hopes to pave the way for others. Black History Month on NBC Sports Chicago, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Part of the new front office for the Bulls, Mark Eversley coming over from Philadelphia as general manager. Saw the process there, and in the big picture, hoping for